What's up guys, Americana back here with another video. In this one, we're going to be going over all of my positions. This is including Bitcoin, Ethereum, gold, and silver, as well as Netflix. We'll be talking about the key levels I'm looking for coming out of the crypto market. There's a lot of things changing and shifting in the market right now, so make sure you guys stick to the end of this video, but we will try to keep it under 10 minutes and get you guys out of here. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, everybody, first up is my Bitcoin position. As you guys know, I did go short back there in July. Even without looking or using my pivot levels, we can see that this would be a pretty key area to flip. Now, what I would be waiting for is some sort of breakout from these monthly pivot levels, a retest, and I actually would go long and close my shorts if a situation like this occurred. I would still keep my longs open around $58,000 that we have been talking about over the last few weeks, but at that time I would definitely take the shorts off the table. So that's going to be about $65,300 over there on Bitcoin. And later in this video, we'll talk about a few reasons why I think Bitcoin still could go down from here, but above this level that we talked about, I wouldn't be willing to hold my short position any longer. Very similar idea over here on Ethereum. Again, without even using my pivot indicator, we can see that flipping this level would be pretty substantial for Ethereum. It's likely I would still get to close my Bitcoin position in a win or small loss, but most of my Ethereum position would have been wiped out by then. Same thing as Bitcoin, I would expect some sort of move. Obviously, we have to break this key pivot level here, but however high we go, I would expect some sort of back test. And this is where I would be looking to get long. Over here on Ethereum, this is about $1,980. Same thing, I would also leave my position at about $1,600 open and ready to be filled if we are given those prices. I actually already have swing longs on Ethereum, not pictured here, but that's going all the way back to new all-time highs. So we'll go ahead and just leave it out of this video. Next, I want to go ahead and talk about silver and gold. There was a couple early signs of gold and silver running out of steam into these levels. We were hitting our first weekly points of controls. We were hitting things like the 200-day moving average, as well as seeing some signs of distribution in the candles themselves. So I did take half of my position off into this weekly point of control on both gold and silver. Now, if my Bitcoin position is going to get filled, it's likely that gold and silver do recover from here, potentially going on to hit my full target price. But if we continue to see downward action from here, I can always take the rest off while still in profit. If that's happening, it's very likely that we're seeing pumps out of the crypto market. At that time, hopefully I would have these new long positions on, as well as my swing long positions. It likely would mean that my lower price targets don't get filled though. Same thing goes over here for silver. Now, I do want to point out we are at the lower bound of our weekly pivot levels over here on metals. So if some sort of continuation was going to happen, it would likely happen from right or around here, in which case we might see the Bitcoin and Ethereum short fully play out, as well as get my entries filled. Next, I want to talk about US stock indices and the NASDAQ in specific. If you guys follow me over there on X, you will know that I have been saying and did say this bottom did not quite look firmed up to me. The style of candles, the fact that we didn't go fill this lower point of control, it was all just a little bit suspect. Now into this move right here, the NASDAQ did hit our upper bound of our monthly pivot levels, and you can see we are actually approaching a breakdown level here, as well as hitting our first point of control. Now, I do think it is much more likely that we find a bottom here or even here over on the NASDAQ. If we did get a bottom here, it's likely we would see a hidden bullish divergence over there on the daily time frame, but that's kind of my idea about stock indices and the tech sector in specific. Now, if you guys have been around here a while and saw my video a few weeks ago, you guys also know that I have some Netflix calls on currently. I'm not going to bore you guys with the specific analysis, but just know if we are able to flip this box, it's likely that we are going on to flip the 200-day moving average as well. And that's just looking at past examples of Netflix being this discounted underneath its 200-day moving average. The last example, I believe, was from 2025 with the tariff crash. So we're currently up 3.5% today. Things are looking pretty good. Again, go back and watch that video I'm talking about. It has Netflix and silver and gold in the same video and why I'm positioning. So go ahead and go back and watch those videos if you're curious about how I came about this position. But everything moving along swimmingly over here, continuing to hold my two contracts that I do have. We'll continue to watch the NASDAQ as well as precious metals. And I think whatever transpires over there is going to give us the insight that we need to determine what's going to happen over here on the crypto side of things. Quick refresher, since we are here currently, you guys do need to be aware on the higher time frames, right? Things like Ethereum have been in amazing discounts to buy for the long term. So hopefully you guys have been taking advantage of that. We are strictly talking about shorter term moves in this video and active swing and leverage positions that I do have on. All right, guys, so we will go ahead and wrap it up here. Hopefully you guys can see how all of this ties in and relates to each other. If you guys have questions, make sure you drop them in the comments. You guys can also access my free Discord by clicking the link in my bio. And if you want access to any of the indicators that I did show today, make sure you click the link to my website where you guys can go ahead and sign up for this as well as the premium Discord. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.